"That's a tram engine, Stephen," said the Fat Controller. "Is it electric?" asked Bridget. "Whoosh!" hissed Toby. "Shh, shh," said her brother. "You've offended him." "But trams are electric, aren't they?" "They are mostly, but this is a steam tram." "May we go in it, Grandfather?"
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long time coming. And I don't just mean in aspects of the video so much, I can't remember the last time I made a Toby custom. In fact, I don't think I've ever made a real custom 00 Toby, save for a repainted or weathered Bachman. So, yeah, I'm a little excited. Though I'm not sure if this video will be a showcase over a review, you know, maybe more praising the Rapido J70 itself. This all around has been pretty surprising. Not only in the build process, but just in the engine used to make Toby alone. This is one of the best models I've owned in a very long time, and I seriously have to recommend it to anyone who's modeling in this scale. But we'll get more into that stuff a bit later. First, let's start with why you clicked on this video, Toby. And how does this exactly represent Toby, you know, save for the face? Let's get the two obvious questions out of the way first. Number one, why is he LNER and not NWR? Well, this model is sort of a nod to Toby's younger days, maybe even his brothers from the LNER, whom long ago he worked with in the Railway series. Does that make this a Railway series custom? Kinda, he has a TV series face, but that's not really what I was going for. This is a Toby we really didn't get to meet, or at least nowhere nearly as closely as the one we know on Sodor. And for that reason, this version of Toby has always interested me. Maybe a younger him is a bit more hot-headed. Maybe he's just more naive. Maybe he's the same old Toby and not much has changed. The second question, why no side plates? And to that I say, look at this valve gear. What kind of question is that? Okay. No, realistically, I know Toby has never been seen without side plates. This is probably the largest inaccuracy this model has. I don't know, I just kind of like the exposed gear and different look it has to it. Of course, knowing Toby, when you think of a tram, you expect side plates, and when they're not there, it's just a little shockingly appealing, if that makes any sense. Plus, with this being a younger LNER Toby, I imagine if there ever was a time he would, you know, maybe not have them, it would have maybe been back then. Or maybe one day Toby says, "Fuck the police," and streaks the tramway. That's the beauty of it. So what did I do to make this Toby? Well, obviously the face, which is a bit large, I'll admit. So like basically every other face I've done recently, these were printed by my good friend Trainstorm. But when I sent them, I sadly wasn't working with a dial caliper. I was kind of just guessing, and that resulted in what you see here, the measurements being way off. But to be fair, at least they still fit. I'll replace them with something better fitting in time, but to make do, I've currently got 3 done, which just so happened to be my favorite. This cheeky, younger looking smile, the scared Toby face from Toby and the Flood, and a more concerned or worried face. Now, when it comes to weathering, he features a light gray on the chassis, cow catchers, and lower portion, with some smaller bits of rust and silver added to show some use. The wood detailing, albeit looking a bit burned, was pretty much done in a way similar to my last tutorial, which I'll have linked in the description for those who are curious, which is basically letting darker colors build up and sink into smaller areas to bring out the detail. At first I tried lighter colors like browns or a gray, and sadly they just didn't hit that mark I wanted them to, so the black was mixed in to help make things a bit more apparent. Realistically, a J70 may not feature this much black, but I kinda have a habit of exaggerating things with my weathering anyway, so I really enjoy it still. His bell was painted in a shiny bronze, his roof weathered with different browns, blacks, and again grays, and a coat of semi-gloss sealed that in for completion. But that's just the making of Toby part of things. Like I said, there's a lot to be said about the Rapido J70 itself. Now, in my experience, this engine is probably the smoothest runner I've ever had out of box. And what I found really surprising but very, very welcome was the customization options it comes with, which are tremendous. So when you take the model out of the box, it will have 2 specific cow catchers fitted, which accommodate the hook and loop couplers. But let's say you're like me and you don't really care for that. Well, lucky for us, Rapido provides you with 2 others. And as you can see, I currently have one fitted to the front. Say you want an open smoke box, closed smoke box. They've got you there too. Want to add even more detail, like the smaller side chains? They're there too. How about metal etchings that coordinate with whatever tram you got, and then some? Call that a check. Trust me, I'm not trying to exaggerate it when I say it. This thing is just tremendous. We have plenty of detail not only on the outside, but on the inside too. This thing has a whole firebox. Like I mentioned earlier, a beautifully crafted valve gear that's as smooth as butter. If I didn't highlight it before, I'll try to again. Lots of customization options. What really makes this model a 10 out of 10 though is the price. Let's see, I paid about $130 US for this thing. And for that price, to get all of this, it's just unmatched. Hornby would literally never. But alright, that's enough of that. We've talked enough about the engine and how I made Toby, yada yada. Let's finally see this little dude in action.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.